Hey guys, Jerry here. From Sean Cox Club. Tonight, I feel led to do a video. I actually got the idea from one of my friends. He's an amazing friend of mine. Actually, was a groomsman in my wedding. Couldn't have picked a better one. But I got online and he was talking about letting people go and who passed, and I know that's not a very easy thing to do, as he put it himself. But tonight I just wanted to get on here and do the same thing. Letting go, not easy. It's never gonna be easy, but it's a part of life. I mean, it's not like you're not gonna see them again. Some people are afraid to let go because they're worried they're gonna forget about their loved one who passed away. That's not the case. You'll see them again if you have the right heart and you know Jesus Christ, and you know they're in heaven. He said also in his video the best way to let go was to talk about it. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been holding this in for the past 3 years since he's died. Yeah, I've acted like it's gone, but it hasn't gone. It's still there. The anger is still there that he died. The upsetness is still there. The hurt's still there. He really put it in a good way about how, I don't remember the exact words he put them in, but talked about how, well, let me start from the beginning. Andy my brother died of a massive heart attack. Apparently he, told this friend, from what I heard, that, he wasn't feeling good the day that he passed, and, told him he was going home because he didn't feel good. They were working together. So I went home and walked in the door and just collapsed on the floor. Died of a massive heart attack. I could not bear the news. It was too hard to take. Not on here looking for sympathy, just on here trying to let it go. Andy loved life. He loved friends, he loved family, he loved God. Most importantly, that shit came first. He loved God. He'd do anything for anybody. His sister actually told me one day that when Andy would help out anybody, even if they were in a bad mood or something, he'd look at his sister, and his sister said, like, well, why would you want to go help him? They seem mad or angry or something like that. I don't remember what she said, but he looked and he said, sis, they're probably just having a bad day. He loved his family, his friends, God. Andy loved everybody. There's not a thing that he wouldn't do for anybody. I believe I know he'd give the clothes off his own back. He'd also just gonna come out and say he'd beat up anybody if they tried to harm me or anything like that. That's one of the things I loved about him, is he was always there for family and friends. And if somebody tried to hurt you, he'd always be right there to defend you. If he wasn't, he'd be there in a flash. He loved friends, he loved family. George, the friend, taught me and told me that there was no way that I could have prevented his death. I wish there was something I could have done, but I couldn't. You can't prevent what God's gonna do. God knew that Andy was gonna passed that day before Andy knew, before any of us knew. It was just Andy's time. Yeah, I feel hurt, angry, upset. But Andy wouldn't want me feeling that way. Andy would want me to move on. And so I feel like there's somebody out here too that's dealing with the loss of a loved one. They want you to move on too. No, you're not going to forget about them, but you still love them, and they would want you to live life. They would want you to be happy. Probably one of my favorite memories of Andy is how we'd always ride around together, going different places, going to Walmart, going to Sonic to get a Route 44 Dr. Pepper, there in happy hour, going to wrestling events at USA Championship Wrestling, hanging out with him, setting up the wrestling rings for him from time to time at USA Championship Wrestling. He loved helping people. No matter what. Had a flat tire, he'd come change it. No matter what time or night, Andy loved life. And I'm sure so did your loved one. They love you. They want you to be happy. They want you to move on. You will see them again. Andy Boyce was an amazing person. Or Milton, whatever you want to call him. He was an amazing person. He loved people. He loved God. Feeling like God's telling me to let somebody know not to, if you lost a loved one, don't hold it in. Please get help. Please talk about it. Don't be angry at God. It was just their time. God loves you. Most important, that loved one loves you. And they would want nothing more than for you to have a relationship with God. Just saying. That wasn't planned, but in saying that, but just go ahead to. Probably one of my favorite memories with Andy that I have is, as I said earlier, going and getting a Route 44. Going bowling with him. Riding down the highway with him. He loved me, I know that. He was a brother. Actually had one lady tell me that he wasn't a brother to me because he wasn't blood. That doesn't matter. If he was biological or not. He was biological because he was my brother. You don't have to be blood to be kin. He was blood because, well, he just was. He was my brother, and I love him, and I miss him each and every day. Andy was amazing. He's a good friend. Great bodyguard. Protect you at any time, anywhere, no matter what. Andy, I'm doing this for myself. And anybody else, me right now, on this part at least. Andy, I'm letting you go. It's hard. I'm not gonna forget about you, man. I could never. I thank you for all you did, all you taught me, how to be a good man, how to treat my wife correctly before you died, even though you didn't know her. Andy, you would have loved her. She would have loved you too. Thank you for being such a good role model. Had your flaws, but you still showed me how to treat a lady right. You were my best friend. You were my brother. Movie theaters. That's another place that I always enjoy going with you. How you would just sit there and laugh and see and smile. And every time you spent the night was amazing too. When we able to hang out watching some WWE. But Annie, I wish you could have been there. Wish you could have been there to be my best man. Wish you could have been there to see my wedding, and I know if heaven wasn't so far, you'd be there in a heartbeat, like you always were. And so I know you're watching down. It hurts, guys. It hurts. I miss them every single day. Just, I don't know why God took them. I don't understand why, but I know He had a very good reason. No, there was nothing more I could have done to prevent it. I'm sure. But one thing I do want to add to it is make sure you spend as much time with your loved one as possible. Because they could, our lives are like a vapor, or like a flower, here today, gone tomorrow. I saw Andy the Sunday before he died. I still remember he was in the kitchen, just standing there. And what did I do? I walked out of the house and got a drink, waved at him, walked right past him, no hug, no nothing. I regret that. Especially when I was not able to attend his funeral. I'm not going to go into that. That's private. But I know Andy loved life. He loved me. Most importantly, he loved God. He loved that little girl that he claimed as his, which still tickles me because I know he loved her with all his heart. If she's out here watching that, if the mother is, I want you to know that he loved that little girl. He always talked about that. Always talked about her and how he loved her, and I could tell it in his eyes. Andy was my best friend. Going to the library, my brother, going to the library was fun with him too. Always looking up for different movies, and he'd always stop and give me a ride if he wasn't spending the night. He'd always hit me up to get my parents to let him stay the night. Might have been older, but he definitely loved life and loved his country. I've never seen anybody love their country more than Andy, especially when he served in the army. I wish I could see him again, but I know I will one day soon. I wish I still had him, but I have the memories, and I guess it's time to let go of him, or at least now. It hurts to the point I still want to cry. I miss you, Andy. And you all know. Thank you, man, for all you did. Wish you were able to be my best man. I wish you could have made it to the wedding. I wish you were still here. But I understand I gotta let you go. I could never forget you, man. But just, if you have a loved one that has passed away, and you're still battling, I understand. If you need to talk, just ask me. I can hopefully can at least pray for you, if nothing else. But just, as my friend, I really needed that message that friend put on Facebook tonight. Just let him go. You won't forget about him. You'll still love him. I know I still love Andy, and Andy still loves me, even from heaven. But cherish the loved ones. Cherish the times. Why? Cherish the memories. Cherish the times. Cherish them while they're here. Cherish, hug them. Hug them. Love on them while they're still here. I don't care if it's your brother, sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, great aunt or uncle, parents, mom, dad, whatever. Dogs, cats, fish. Well, it'd be kind of hard to hug a fish. That's what I loved about Andy too, was his sense of humor. How he always rock out to rock music. Andy definitely loved God, and I'm so glad that he got baptized when he did. I know I'll see him again. And Andy, I love you, man. I miss you each and every day. I'm finally gonna let you go. Hope you will rest in peace. But man, know that I'll never forget you and that I love you. And I do hope to see you again, man. Still hard to believe, John. Thank you, George, for that message. An amazing message that you posted on Facebook. Andy, thank you for everything. Again, thank you for all the memories. And oh, Andy, I'm letting you go. It's gonna be hard, but each time I get over it, because tired of the carrying around the heartache and all this and that. But Andy, I'll never forget about you. I love you, man. Still remember the Route 44s. Hope you're still getting plenty of Dr. Peppers in heaven. I know you love those Dr. Peppers. I wish you were here, man. And just one quick word of advice. One song that I know helps me when I miss an Andy each and every day, by The Inspirations, called "If You Only Knew I Was Just Going Home." So if you're missing your loved one, I believe that'd be a good song to let them go on. And I mean, you can. It's not like you'll not think of them, because I know you will. Just letting them go, so because they wouldn't want you, your loved one wouldn't, just like Andy wouldn't want me sitting around moping around about him. One of the men that I know, he said Andy was a big macho man. He wouldn't want you crying over him. I'm sure that's the same way with your loved one. But like I said, spend as much time with you can with all of your loved ones, spouse, the uncle, aunt, parent, grandparent, son, daughter, brother, sister, doesn't matter. Dogs, cats, fish. Spend time with them, including church family. Spend time with them. You never know how long anybody has. No man knows the day or the hour. But, and I wasn't going to say this, but God just, I guess, laid it upon me. If you have a loved one that y'all are not on speaking terms, make her cry. Tell them you love them. Try to tell them you love them. Call them, tell you you love them. If they're holding a grudge against you, or you're holding a grudge against them, make her cry. Because I most certainly don't want you to regret anything, and I know you don't want to either. Hopefully they won't want to either. I know Andy wouldn't want you to, and God wouldn't want you to. Andy was always there for me, and I know, tickled me. Andy told me one night, when he was still alive, that he better have been best man at my wedding. Which I know Andy loved everybody, and he'd take the shirt, he'd give you the shirt off his back. He always worked. He'd always hang out. He'd always take care of you, no matter what, no matter how much money he had. He'd take care of you. He'd help you in any way he knew how. He loved life, but just enjoy the time you can while you have them. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health problems. I know Andy had heart problems. There was nothing I could do, but because you can't prevent what God does. What He's gonna do. Andy loved hanging out. Andy loved life. Just spend as much time as you can in prayer and in the Word. And may I remind you, I'm kind of stepping on my toes on that too. But just love Andy. Love your family members. Love life. I love you, Andy. I hope you can rest in peace now. Letting you go. Feel so much better after talking about it. Yeah, I'm angry still. I ain't really angry anymore. Still hurts, but it's better than it being all bundled in. But this is Jerry from Showing Christ Love. Just felt like God needed y'all to hear. Somebody needed to hear that tonight. Make sure if you're on my YouTube account that you like and subscribe. But show somebody Christ's love like Andy always did. That was a fine example of showing Christ's love. I love you, Andy. I miss you, Andy. I'm letting you go. I'll never forget about you, man. I could never. You loved life. You loved me. You loved God. You loved anybody you came in contact with. You helped anybody came in contact with. Even if they were the most difficult person to deal with. You always gave good advice. I miss you, man. You're a fun man to hang out with. I hope to see you again. I know I'll see you again. Love you, man. God bless. Y'all have a blessed night. Bye.